Hello, Guardians, and welcome to Destiny Reset episode 220. This show is about anything and everything related to the Destiny franchise. If you love playing Destiny 2 as much as we do, you're in the right place. This reset, we're back together and ready to talk about Season of the Undying, prepare for a huge update next week, including Festival of the Lost, and finally talk how in-game activities and progression change Destiny 2. Hello, Guardians, and welcome. It's AER0KNIGHT and, of course, CyborgSasquatch. Hey, yo.
Hello.
How's it going?
I'm back.
You are back, and I'm glad.
Yeah, I realized I was getting set up, and I was like, I haven't done this in 2 weeks.
Yeah, and Joe, he is complicated, man. He is. Just kidding. Joe's about as easygoing as it gets, but I missed you, dude.
All those riders that come with having him on, like, he expects lime Skittles in the
yeah,
break room, and
I know it's
just all these weird requests, man.
Yeah, it's he's an interesting Guardian. He used the word infamous to describe himself. Yeah, we're just kidding.
He is infamous.
We're just kidding, buddy. About as nice as they come. Anyways, I missed you, man. Like I said, we a couple times a year. It seems like we have these little couple weeks where we like alternate. We need to be off for a reason, and I missed you, man. We got stuff to talk about.
There's things to talk about.
Yeah,
lots of Destiny has been played, and a bunch of stuff on the horizon this week coming up.
I know.
Exciting.
They stacked a lot of stuff for this next reset.
Yeah. So why don't we get into it? Let's do this show.
We got plenty to talk about. We better hold off on the tangents. Maybe.
Okay.
We'll
All
see.
right. I'll try. Announcements.
Yes.
Announcements.
We got a few. I can't remember. I think we've done this at the end of the show a couple times in the last month or two. But we kind of thought we would take an opportunity to just welcome all of the new Destiny players and possible listeners. Obviously, you're listening right now, and you found our show and our community, and welcome you to the Derp Fam. If you've taken the plunge into the Discord, we've seen quite an increase in people joining the Derp Fam Discord, so we just thought we would take a moment to welcome all of you new Guardians, you new lighters, and or maybe you just decided to and you've been playing Destiny for a while. Isn't that right, Cyborg?
That's right. Welcome or welcome back.
Yes. Welcome back. Yes, that's a good one there too, because we all can take breaks from Destiny. But anyways, we're happy to have you. We usually do it at the end of the show because we're talking about Patreon, we're talking about reviews, but we want to do it at the top of the show and just say welcome. You have found an awesome community to hang out in. If you haven't joined the Discord yet, think about it.
That's right. Discord.gg/Destiny Reset. Speaking of the Discord, we added a channel this week that may be convenient if you're a listener. It's called Derp Postmaster. We want to make it easier for you to send us all that fun stuff that we asked for Derp Fam Discourse. So send us your show questions, discussion prompts, game feedback, show feedback and the like, shout outs, and all that fun stuff. You can leave it right there in the discourse, and we will go look and pull that each week for possible introduction to the Derp Fam Discourse.
Yes. Yep. You probably saw our announcement this week. That channel it's like Cyborg said, it's Derp Postmaster, and it's really for you guys to submit, like you said, topics and questions and community shout outs, so that we can go check it out. And instead of you having to email us or tweet us or leave a speak pipe, it's just another avenue for you guys to be able to do that. We do hope we want to keep discussion in there to a minimum, just because we want to just kind of be able to browse through it and see topic submissions and stuff so we can grab them for the show. So as always, utilize that anytime you want, and we will be happy. We may not get to all of them, but we just think it might be quite a bit of an easier way for you guys to submit stuff for the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Also, and we're going to talk about this in the TWAB ahead, but you may have caught that Bungie has launched a new initiative as part of their charity activities in the Bungie Foundation and in their iPad for Kids program and etc. And so we have set up a team to take part in that charity initiative that'll be going, I think, through, I'm going to say it's through November 4th. I'll get to it when we talk about it. But if you want to help be a part of that, we're going to try to raise $3,000 as a team, as the Derp Fam and Destiny Reset podcast.
Yeah.
So go to helpmakemiracles.org/team/Destiny-reset. If you would like to give, or if you would like to join our team and help set your own goal and do a stream or something, or whatever it is you might want to do or to help contribute to that cause. We'll talk about that a little more coming up, but we just wanted to throw that in the announcements. If you want to check it out, you can go there right now and give, or check out the page, or join our team to help raise those monies.
Yes. Yeah. Excellent stuff.
All right.
Hey, one more thing. I almost forgot.
Yes.
We told our awesome team member, Snatching Panda, we wanted to throw out a reminder for you DerfAm Discorders. We have 2 channels that we set up maybe a month or 2 ago. The 100.io channels. You'll see them in the LFG section.
Mm-hmm.
There's the upcoming activities channel, and then there's a channel called the 100 bot command channel, which is where you'll actually, of course, enter your bot commands. Basically what this does is it allows you to create activities, fire teams, groups using the 100.io website. And we integrated this with Snatching Panda's help and the DerfAm team. And we just wanted to remind you guys, we may even throw something up in the Discord, but utilize this feature. I know it's got a little bit of a learning aspect to it, but you can do an exclamation help in that channel and it'll send you a message. The bot will send you a message with all the commands and all that good stuff. So if nothing else, go give those 2 channels a look and just see what's going on there. You can see upcoming activities and such. And we're trying to make it to where you guys can fire team up easier and quicker and kind of see what the community's doing versus just having to post in one of the platform LFG channels, which you can still do.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, you got anything to add, Cyborg? Just kind of a reminder.
That's it. Go check it out.
There you go.
It's an easy way to find friends to play with.
Yes. Alrighty.
Okay. Time for some news.
Yes.
This week at Bungie, it's about to get spooky.
I feel like we're going to need commercial
calendars.
breaks for this TWAB.
Yeah. October 29th is a day filled with updates that will appeal to about every player in this community. So there's a whole bunch of stuff going down next reset. We've got Festival of the Lost coming back. Pretty excited about that. A new dungeon opening up. Even more excited about that. Mm-hmm. We get a new Crucible mode called Momentum that we're going to talk about here. And what else? Oh, another exotic quest going live for Shadowkeep owners. If you remember the bug gun from this summer that we saw a cool replica of, the Xenophage will be available for you to start that quest.
This is a heavy machine gun, obviously, right?
Yeah. What I heard, I don't want to be like spoilers. I don't know if it's spoilers, but
spoiler
people that played it at some Bungie events said it was almost like as opposed to a regular machine gun that's just, spraying lead. You had, like 10 to 15 rounds, and they were just like one heavy round that you would shoot stuff with that just did obscene damage. Something like that.
Interesting.
I want to even say they might track. I don't know. Sounds fun. I can't wait to try it.
Yes, it does.
So a lot of stuff to chase and get into this coming reset. I hope you're ready.
I know, man. It makes you wonder why, or if it was unintentional or intentional, stacked all this on the same reset week. It's a lot of stuff.
I think some of this is probably due to the fact that, the game got pushed back 2 weeks.
Yeah, very true.
And some of this stuff might have been, more spread out, and probably some of these things we might have seen sooner than this week, but Festival was already going to land on this week, so they just had to pack it in, because you got to get some things out before it gets too far into the season, like you got to leave room for the Undying like final assault thing later next month.
I know,
like
that
other
is
stuff.
Something maybe that we'll have that we didn't really have before, even though it is on the roadmap. You're right, they've got to like wrap up the season and open it to the next story point of the next season. So
so hey, it's just gonna be a busy week.
It is. I wouldn't consider myself caught up right now, so great. It's a good problem.
Well, get ready, because it's coming, like it or not. In other news, let's talk momentum. What do you think about this new mode, momentum, that we're getting?
Man, I don't know what to think about this game mode.
I thought you would be maybe excited about this.
Well, it's okay. Well, we were talking before the show.
We were just talking about you just want to use guns.
But let me tell you what I can't take my eyes away from here. The last bullet point. Increased heavy ammo respawn rates and drop amounts. That's the issue I have with competitive right now, or survival. We'll talk about that in reset. But other than that, I think it sounds really cool. I have no idea what I'm gonna think when I'm playing it. But yeah, I mean, just to kind of briefly. Well, we'll just say what it is here, what they say. And they relate it at the end to, in their internal play testing, they kind of compared it to classic Halo custom game SWAT. So if you ever played that, but it's basically they're trying to promote gunplay, which Cyborg, you're right, that's typically right up my alley. And they say this is a fast-paced, hair on fire experience where the lethality of all weapons has been cranked to 11. You're incentivized to be aggressive as you defeat other Guardians to earn charge melees, grenades, and supers. Here's a quick rundown of what to expect. There's instant respawn times. Weapon damage is increased. Higher combat lethality, and everything in your arsenal is a contender. Ability regen requires effort. Defeat enemy players to charge your melee, grenade, and super. No tracker. I was going to say, that's the part I think is really cool. That and this other one coming down here. We'll continue. No tracker. Sneak around your enemies for some sweet flanks. Amped control. Zone capture faster and grant more bonus points per kill. Supercharged supers. Increased damage resistance in super means you become the 1,000-pound gorilla. Be careful because heavy weapons will put you down quickly. And then the heaviest of ammo, what I already said, increased heavy ammo respawn rates and drop amounts. So what I think sounds really cool about this is you have to perform to get your super and get your abilities. I think that's cool. I hope it doesn't. Destiny's always had like a snowball effect to it with power and then getting supers. And
that's
that
what
kind
I was
of thing.
worried about too when I read that.
Yeah, I'm hoping it doesn't feel like that because the game already has that in it. But what I do like about it is you have to perform to, get that stuff. That sounds cool. But the heavy ammo part.
Yeah, the heavy availability is what will play the balance for that, right?
Right. Because it says they do more damage to supers, your heavy ammo does. So maybe that'll be okay. Heavy ammo right now is a sore subject for me. So
it's weighing heavy on you.
Yes, it is. What do you think, though? I mean, what do you think about it?
This sounds cool. I mean, I'll check it out. I don't know if it'll be the mode for me because if everything is just more lethal and this becomes like, like I can't play COD and stuff because my reflexes are too slow. Like I'm too old. I suck. I can't play Twitch shooters. So if it becomes just more like that, I probably won't enjoy it as much. I think that's why I like Destiny a little bit more than other multiplayer games because I can keep up better. Right.
Yeah. No, I get that. But yeah. I don't know what to think. It sounds fun reading it, but I have this feeling I'm going to jump in it and it's just, I don't know if I'm going to enjoy it. I don't know. And then I had that thought where there is, there's the thought of, I'm glad, it doesn't matter if I end up liking it or not. I'm glad they're doing something new for Crucible.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I did have a thought of like, man, they put a lot of time and thought into this, and they could have just brought back Trials. But we won't go there. Won't go there. It could be super fun. I'm pumped to just see some attention on the Crucible side, man. That's always a good thing right now. So
yeah,
yep,
definitely. And they mentioned as well, I think they say it's going to be up for 6 weeks, and then they'll pull it off and see what the feedback is going to be like, if they'll bring it back. So it's not a permanent mode.
Right.
That was a surprise. I didn't expect that it's going to be like a short, limited time thing. But I guess that they learned a little bit from, what was the mode that launched with Forsaken?
What was it?
That just launched pretty broken. Showdown?
Yes.
Showdown?
Was it Showdown? Or yes. I remember. I know what you're talking about. The Vault or whatever. Is that what it was?
Yeah. Or is it Breakthrough? I did
not play it much.
That shows.
Yes, I did not play it much, so I cannot.
Either way, though, they're gonna roll it out and see how it's received, I guess.
Yeah,
sounds fun.
It's cool, man.
I've seen a lot of people online who have voiced that they're very excited.
Yeah, no, it's a good thing. Even if it's not every mode's for everybody. So if I like it, cool. If you like it, if not, it's all right. It's good to have them trying new things.
Yeah, so. Different strokes, different folks.
Yep.
Next up, they talk a little bit about changes to seasonal triumphs in Season of the Undying. This was an interesting read for me, because they talk about how they made some changes to triumphs that we know. A lot of people picked up on this when Shadowkeep launched, right? So they added tiers to some triumphs, things like ability kills of a certain type, or like do this many strikes, like things that you can always do in Destiny is kind of how I think about it. So they did that so that you can continue to kind of live with the game, I think, and feel like you accomplish more and more, right? But then there's also, they mentioned triumphs that don't make sense for new players. For instance, getting to a certain power level, like I think they mentioned, what was it? So there's a certain power level or getting to level 50. That's what it is. But if you come in with new light, like getting to level 50 isn't like an automatic deal.
Right.
So it's not really fair for people that did earn that to have new lighters just get that for free, right?
Right.
So they're taking some triumphs off the map, off the board. Things that you could only do, in a certain time frame way back when, you're not going to be able to do anymore. They don't give every specific example of that, but you can probably think of that. But things that you can still go and achieve in the game right now and forever, you'll be able to go do. So they say pre-Shadowkeep triumphs that no longer require effort can't be earned after Season 7. These triumphs have had their score reduced to 0. Players who earn them will still see them in their triumphs. Seasonal triumphs will have a score value. If you miss triumphs during Season of the Undying, you may not be able to max out your score for the year. So they mentioned this is an evolving philosophy, and they're not done, of course, making tweaks to it. Not everything is, they say, as clean as they would like in order to support Destiny as an evolving world. So they'll probably have to play around with things over time. But I think now that they have that in mind, they'll be able to adjust the system,
right?
Ahead of time a little bit. And they're telling us now, things like the title that you can earn Undying. You can only get that this season because the activity for this season is going to go away. So you'll want to focus on that if you plan to get all the titles.
Yeah, that's why I did want to see what you thought about this, because everything sounded really great in this, except, and they've hinted at that for a while now, that things are going to come and go now as far as loot. Even, they've not confirmed that, some of the loot may or may not come back in another pool. It's just going to be you participated in that season or you didn't, at least to a certain degree.
Right.
And this is another aspect of it. And I got to say, like, when I got to that point of reading it, I was like, man, they've kind of warned us that stuff like this is coming, but it still stings a little bit, because it's that thought of like, you can't get it anymore.
Yeah.
As far as the Triumph goes, because, they link even to Lulu's tweet of getting Max Triumph, which we've had Lulu on the show. And and you've always been like a Grimoire back in the day, Destiny 1 chaser. So does it bug you at all that like you just
I was worried about it. I think we talked about that going into the season, that this would be a problem. I think because it's kind of not part of it. Everything. Yeah. So, we have 3 new titles this season that have been introduced. If all 3 of those were like time limited, I would be super anxious about that.
Right.
But it's just one, it's the Undying, and it's really the one for the season, and it's probably the easier of the 3.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I think they kept that in mind in making it time limited. I mean, you still have to do some stuff for it. Like, it'll take some time. But it's probably like the most accessible.
Do it throughout the season, kind of a title.
Yeah.
For the most part, and then finish it off if you didn't just, naturally. But I am understanding, right, though, like if let's just say you don't get that title and finish off some of those triumphs, you cannot get max triumph score ever again.
Can't, no.
Right? Okay. I'm just making
and there's
sure.
There's such a select few people that really go after max triumph. Like I couldn't do that. One, because I've already missed out on some stuff, I think. Yeah. 2, because it's insane how well rounded you have to be in the game to do that. Like,
I almost want us to get Lulu back on to see what she thinks.
Yeah,
because that is
we need
such a feat. It's amazing.
She's I don't know how she does what she does. Like, she's a full-time nurse and streams and is able to do that. Like, it's crazy. But yeah, it's such a small selection of people that go after that. It's not going to affect them. Right. It's really not. They're already on top of it. You know what I mean?
That's a very good point.
And so really it's just, as long as they're transparent and very, very clear about what goes away, so that if you care like the amount that I care, which is just, I want to get like all the titles I can, and the most accessible triumphs, stuff like that. Like, as long as that's the case, I'm cool with it.
Right. Okay. I was curious as I was reading that. Yeah.
Terrible to have stuff that goes away. Like, it does create a little more value for it. If it's limited time,
it's an urgency to participate. And I agree. Yeah, as I was reading it, I was like, I wonder what Cyborg's going to think about this. I mean, again, they've told us that stuff like this is coming with just the way they're structuring the game. But the excitement that we're getting, in that aspect of the game, the way the seasons seem to be, as far as the way they're laying them out now, it's a fine trade-off. Yeah, it's cool.
Next up, we talk about changes to the Destiny UI, some improvements that are pretty cool. One of which are some changes to subtitles, which I think are great, because I actually play with subtitles.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and so I like that you can change like colors, outlines, sizes, different stuff like that. And it's because I play with people and they talk over everything that's happening.
And I normally play with subtitles. I actually may have them on right now, but typically I do. But that's why I play solo usually when an expansion first launches, because I want to hear everything.
Yeah, and sometimes I play with sound off, like when I might be like watching a movie or like a show, because I might just be like grinding something out. I'll play with sound, so I like having the subtitles on for that. Either way, they're making some improvements. They also mention coming up they're going to work on some other accessibility stuff. So they want to hear your feedback on this, and I think they're also consolidating some PC settings into fewer menus, which I think is needed because, man, I get lost in those settings menus. Next up, they show off the winners of the Guardian Fashion Week.
There's some good looking Guardians.
Yeah.
My favorite is the red and black, the first red and black shadered Titan.
Yeah, he looks pretty cool.
Looks cool. I think it's my favorite. Guy. I don't know.
There's some good ones in here for sure. You can definitely tell the taste of the judges. I'll put it that way. Yeah. But there's some good looking entries in here for sure. And then a funny one they gave an honorable mention to, which is you have to give a shout out to the original Guardian that did this on Twitter. There's a guy, he goes by, I think, DVS. And like a long time ago in Destiny 1, year 1, I want to say, he put on he made like this ugly Titan build. And this kind of rips that idea off. But hey,
yeah, wasn't it
he submitted it though.
The one that always reminded me of like Rocksteady from,
he has like
Bebop,
the beetle
Rocksteady
arms
from Ninja Turtle,
and silly looking helmet, all different colors. Yeah, but this was cool, man. I like. I mean, there was a ton of people that were entering. I saw, and I meant to try to get on and like make a cool looking set of Guardians, and I just didn't get around to it. So now next time I want to.
And
you get an emblem if you get chosen.
Yeah,
I
you
think,
do.
right?
That's really cool. Yeah, that's really cool. I submitted. I just sometimes you just find the right shader and the right armor at the right time, and I did like the day after that reset, which would have just been the launch of this reset. And I had like my Saint 14. I've got a lot of the Iron Banner armor, and I've got like this mostly white with a hint of purple because I always like to match my subclass if I can with the shader or the shader with the subclass. And it looked pretty sleek. So I had to tweet it out and just say I was fashionably late.
Man, that new Iron Banner armor, so sleek.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, so nice.
I think it's my whole set that I'm wearing right now. Except I did use I did transmog the mark to something else. But
you didn't like the mark?
I like it, but not for the
low.
Yeah, not for the look I was going for. I
okay.
Did something else. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But, that's a cool option to even be able to do. It's weird just because we played Destiny so long and not been able to do that. But that Iron Banner armor, and I got high stat rolls on all of it, so that was fantastic.
Yeah, the whole ornament system has confused me a couple times because I had like a couple sets at some point that I put on that were just the most powerful stuff, but I put some Eververse ornaments on, and I was like equipping. I went back and like equipped something, and I was wait, that's not how that. What am I wearing? What is this? I don't know what armor set this is.
Imagine
What's
if
happening?
It was everything like we said we wanted. That would just mess you all up.
And there's a lot of requests from people for different sets to be ornaments right now, like the summer gear that we did. The Solstice of Heroes, like a lot of people are asking for that set to be an ornament, like just a universal ornament, like let's just put it on whatever, which I think makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think we could see some changes down the line. It's kind of their first pass at this system, and we've had ornaments obviously, but to kind of open things up and make it so you can use them more, I think is a big deal. And it'll get better. Things usually evolve and improve,
They do.
Systems. Unless they just forget, like putting sparrows on Mercury, like they said they were going to do that.
It happens. It can happen, I guess.
Going back, Destiny player support. We've got a update coming in, this reset 2.6.1. It introduces a broad variety of changes to the player experience and resolves a number of known issues that have emerged since the launch of Shadowkeep. So they list some of the things that will be fixed. Go follow at Bungie Help to monitor the feed for details as soon as they're available. We'll also get the Festival of the Lost as part of that update. Eva Levante will be hosting that once again. They mentioned, to be sure, if you're a new light player, you'll need to be power 770 before you will be able to access the quest to play that activity. If you are not a new light player and an existing player returning, you will be already at 750 at least, and you are good to go. So I don't know why new light players have to be higher, but
I wondered like if it was something on the back
maybe
end.
There's just certain things that have to be opened up. I don't know.
Yeah, that they wanted, because if you think about it, if you have to be even just 20 power higher, it means you have to be at somewhat of an active player at some point. And if you're 750, maybe, I don't know. I only thing I could think of is maybe it's something on the back end. Just to put a little increase from the base power. But anyways, it's kind of random.
They also mentioned to be careful about deleting chocolate, strange coins, and candy, because you can't delete them individual. They delete in stacks. So be careful about hitting that dismantle button on accident or on purpose.
Don't do it, guys.
You don't want to get rid of all your goodies. Moving on to Movie of the Week. They've got a new Movie of the Week community emblem that's pretty dope.
It is.
I like it, man. They always make some great emblems for this.
I know. I thought it was absolutely awesome that they're doing this emblem thing with some stuff, but then I felt bad for everyone else that's had one up to this point.
Right.
Yeah. Because they say you're the first to take it home. But that's okay. Got to start somewhere.
Yeah. Next week, he mentions Cosmo here, writing the TWAB. The Game to Give charity event is next week. So let's take an opportunity to talk about that for a minute, and then we'll talk about Festival of the Lost.
Yeah, definitely.
So Game to Give is a charity event to support Bungie Foundation's iPads for Kids program and the Children's Miracle Network, which supports sick kids across the country. So between October 24th and November 10th, Bungie invites the Destiny community to join us in celebration of what we can accomplish together through games and giving. They invite community members to sign up to host your own Destiny fundraising stream between October 24th and November 10th. They have some cool prizes that you can earn or enter by donating. I'll list these off for a second. They mention on October 29th at 12 p.m. Pacific, they'll kick off a 24-hour Festival of the Lost streaming marathon with some of your favorite content creators, culminating in a live stream with the devs over here on Bungie. Now, at the end of the TWAB, Cosmo was like, yeah, here's the list. And then they didn't write the list out. So I don't know who's doing it, but I'm sure it'll be a great lineup. Look forward to that. And you can do this yourself too. So a $10 donation, you get a cool, unique emblem called the New Mist Blossoms emblem. $50 donation, you get the emblem and a in-game ghost, a charity ghost called the Gilded Shell Exotic Ghost that looks really fancy and cool.
It does.
They also have for $100 donations, you can earn those previous items, and you enter to win an item from the Bungie prize pool, and they've got some things shown off. A physical replica of that cool ghost. There's a couple of the, what are they called, 2A that makes these figures. They don't make a lot of these new anymore, but there's like some a warlock and a titan like replica model that are really cool that you can.
Yeah, those are like the larger ones, right? That's not just like the McFarlane ones or whatever.
No, these are the like expensive, like $300,
$300, yeah.
Yeah. Also in the prize pool, the soundtrack of like the Destiny, you can get on like the vinyl set, if you know what I'm talking about, that you can earn. And then there's an awesome Rise of Iron battle axe replica. That's what I would love to have.
Right. Yeah.
So
I forgot.
cool.
This reminded me too that there's a chess set. I saw it a little while back and totally forgot.
Yeah, actually, a friend of mine told me that he found one of those on sale at Target for like $10 recently.
Wow. Yeah, I saw.
Apparently,
them on
like
Amazon.
there's a bunch of Destiny stuff. If you go to Target, look in the game, section,
like the miscellaneous
where they
aisle
have
in
like
the game section.
swag, yeah, and pretty much anything that's Destiny is on sale right now, like clearance. I guess they're clearing out all that old Activision Bungie merch. They're making for a while.
Seems as though.
Yeah. Anyways, tangent there. Back to what we're talking about. So 100% of donations go to charities. From what I understand, so if you donate, I think half of what you donate goes to the iPads for Kids and Bungie Foundation. And then the other half goes to specific charity hospitals that each person can select. So you get to actually have these donations going to somebody or going to a local hospital near you if you choose, if you set up your own, right? So that's pretty cool. We set up our own team. I don't know if we're going to have a charity stream per se, but you can still kind of rally together and give underneath our team and have it come from Destiny Reset and the Derp fam. So as we mentioned at the top of the show, if you want to give, maybe get some of these cool prizes that Bungie's giving and be part of this, you can do that. You can also join our team, maybe do your own fundraising or charity stream. Let us know if you do that. We'd love to support you and try to show up. I think this is pretty cool. Cool little way to, they're kind of, taking note of things that other gaming communities are doing to raise money in this way and kind of structuring, a way to have like a big push for something, right?
Yeah, it's really cool.
I like it.
Involve the community. Yeah.
Absolutely. So
very neat.
Cool stuff. All right. You want to talk about Festival of the Lost?
Yeah. A little Festival of the Lost. It's not that anymore. That was a long time ago.
Remember when?
Way back.
Eva's coming back this year to Eva Levante. She's back to host Festival of the Lost again this year for us. And I'm super excited that the Haunted Forest is coming back. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's
excited.
Good. Mm-hmm.
I loved Haunted Forest last year.
Well, plus they give us a little teaser too and tell us nothing else afterwards.
Right.
With the forest, which we'll get to that.
Yeah, and they mentioned the basics are the same. You go in, you've got 15 minutes to get as far as you can, defeat bosses and the like, right? We just had like a ton of fun staying up late and like chatting and cracking up and trying to get as far as we could last year. It was just like a really fun, chill event.
Yeah,
and
we
got to like wave 10 or whatever, and we knew we could get farther. Like we're like, we had it to where we could get to 11 or 12 if we just set it up right, and we never like went back and did it. So now we're committed this year. Like we're getting to wave 11. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's just of all the wave-based iterations of activities they've had, they did kind of hit a special mark on that one. It just worked.
Yeah.
People really seemed to like it.
It was just fun.
Yeah,
it was just fun. So of course, there'll be the decorations in the tower. There's the cool masquerader helmet that you'll be able to put on that allows you to equip different types of masks, as we always have during Festival of the Lost, which they've got some cool ones this year. We've got a callus. We've got the red, what do they call them? The hive enemies.
Oh, yeah.
I keep wanting to say Red Legion, but that's not right because that's
Cabal.
Cabal's the you know what I'm talking about. those maroon scary boys. That'll be a thing. And then, you got to have your drifter mask. I mean, that's the best one right there. You got Eris, and then our new fallen buddy, Mithrax mask. So these are cool. You got Candy coming back. You'll pick up Candy from killing bad boys when you're wearing the fun helmet. In the Braytech Braytech Werewolf Legendary Auto Rifle. You'll get it at fully masterworked at 950 power. I think it has a static roll on that one, but then you can get random rolls. So it's cool, man. There's like a, great way to get a full power weapon.
Yeah, no, that's what they
really
did last year.
Yeah.
That was a big draw I like that they're doing that again. I love that it's an auto. I love autos in PvE. It looks cool too, I think. I think it looks pretty neat.
It does look cool. It's got that same, so they showed off, there's this cool armor. I think it's a ornament that you can earn, and it's like spooky skeleton, neon skeleton. That's what the pattern is on it. It almost looks like a Call of Duty rifle.
It does, yeah. And it's Braytech, like they said. It looks a lot like that Braytech auto you got back in the Mars days.
Yes.
Is it same gun model? Is it the same exact gun model or no?
Yeah, it's the Braytech Winter Wolf gun model as well.
It is, okay, and it's a werewolf. Yeah. It makes total sense now. Because it took me forever to get the Winter Wolf. I saw Guardians with it, and at that time I didn't even fully understand. I remember how you got those weapons before Wayfarer days. And then okay, that makes sense. No wonder I like it then. Cool.
Yerp. And then we get a little preview of some cool Eververse items you'll be able to probably purchase, is my guess. But hey, who doesn't want a flying broom sparrow? I mean, come on. Some great stuff,
especially if you're a warlock.
Yeah. What do you think of the emote?
I think it's cool. I like it.
The grave.
I'm usually pretty subtle in my PvP emotes. I always loved my traditional bow. But if I were to use something else, I would be tempted to use that.
It's a funny one. It'll be a fun one to celebrate the festivities, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yep.
So we get October 29th. It kicks off and concludes on November 19th. So I think that's about three resets we'll have Haunted Forest. So plenty of time to celebrate Festival of the Lost. You have 3 weeks to jump in.
Yeah.
I'm excited. It's a cool little event,
Yeah, it's like, I posted in our team Discord, like when I first read through it, it's a weird thing with the events, because I've always said, like, to me, their goal is just to complement the game. Like, we should already be having fun, so it's just something else that's going on. And when I first read through it, I was just kind of like, it's festival. But this is the third time now that I've read through it, and there's enough additions, and Haunted Forest is, successful and fun enough. Like, it does exactly what it needs to do, this event. It's just something fun to do alongside whatever else you're doing. So yeah,
I think
I'm excited.
So I don't want them to have to reinvent every event,
right?
Every season or every time that they do it.
Find something that works, and
but as long as there are like unique gear, that's always a big draw, right? Like unique stuff, even if it's just cosmetic. But I'd love to see. I just want one surprise every event.
Yeah,
whether it's a exotic quest, a funny quest or story thing, even if it doesn't give you any, just give us something that we don't expect. That I appreciate, and we could get that, and we've had stuff like that before with plenty of events. So just keep me guessing. That's what I like. What did they used to say? You want to leave people delighted. And
I know what you're. Yeah, I know
what is it that Luke Smith used to say?
We're just like not remembering any specific quote and name of things.
He would say like he wants to leave the players like delighted and something.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Like, where's my surprise and delight?
And maybe the surprise. I don't remember if we hinted at it. I don't remember if we read it word for word, but I guess possibly part of the surprise this time is the haunted forest. They say it like, and maybe you did read this word for word, but they say, but beware of what awaits you at the end.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be like that knight that you can't kill, right?
Right.
But
so
what
hopefully
if it's something different?
We can, or there's a mechanic, or
yeah,
that'd be cool. I think you're right. If they throw just a little curveball in there like that, I think it could go a long way with this event.
Well, just let me kill that guy.
Yeah, just let us.
That'll be a pleasant enough surprise. Let me fight him and not just have to run and jump and not fall into a pit thing. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. That was fun. That was a fun part of it. That first one going into it is what's hilarious.
Yeah.
Bring your buds in there. If they didn't play this last year, don't tell them anything.
Just take them through.
Yup. But that's the news this week. I think that's about it.
It's a lot, as per usual, unless it's a launch week.
Stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's catch up on what's been going on in the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, Cyborg. You're teeing me up there, buddy. You know, we've missed you, Cyborg. How has your last 2 resets been, buddy?
They've been fun. You know, I didn't get to talk about it last week, although I talked to you guys when I was listening to the episode. I would talk back because that made me feel like I was part of the episode. I played a bunch of Iron Banner. And
yes, I did too.
I had tweeted about this, but I found it super enjoyable. And that, I think, is a big deal for me because...
I have one question.
Yes.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I got to ask you one
question. Well, I haven't played Iron Banner in like a year or two. Full disclosure, if you don't listen to every show... I haven't
much either, yeah.
Every time Iron Banner comes up, I'm like, is this going to be the one? Nope.
I know we've talked about it every time. Like it's just
this was the one.
Missing the magic.
The armor is gorgeous. They drop like really good rolls on the stuff that you can get from Saladin, like better stat rolls.
Yeah. All of mine were 59 or 60.
Yeah, he can give you those enhanced perks from packages. I mean,
I know the amount of videos I saw.
Power.
Everybody's like, you have to play Iron Banner. You get enhanced perks.
Yes, and I spent like a lot of tokens because every once in a while I would play a little Iron Banner, and I tell you, I've had tokens that I haven't used for years that I've never spent. So I blew a bunch of tokens unlocking stuff.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you is because I said the same thing last week. The gear is beautiful, and the pinnacle, the way they've set it up this season to where 950 is kind of really the max, and then 960 is something to chase, for a while after that. They give you one of few opportunities of pinnacle rewards, and that's huge. What I wanted to ask you though is because I played it a lot more than I normally do versus way back in the day, and do you think it's because it's early in the season that you were even more excited because you needed that power? Do you think you will be on the third Iron Banner?
A little bit of that.
That's the only thing I wonder is like Iron Banner 3 of this season when we're maxed out, will we still be?
It's it also has those pinnacle drops, and those are a big deal. And a lot of people are talking about the pinnacle power climb right now because it's a little wonky because there's not a lot of places to get gear, and the way that the power climb works, you have to have a full complete set of a number power, say 951, before you'll start getting 952.
The next, yeah.
So there's so much bad luck that can get in your way. So by the time Iron Banner comes up again next, people are going to be like, heck yeah, 4 more drops per character. Like, I'm on this. And I probably will be too, just because. Like, the funny thing about that whole 950 to 960 is it only matters to a certain group of people that are doing a certain group of activities, and only if they really want to put the time in, because the only way that really helps you is to try to push you up a little bit if you're doing like those 980 activities, and there's just a handful of there's like 2, I think. Right. You can do the Master Nightfall or the Master Nightmare hunts that came out. The Master Nightfall seems to be like the one thing that's worth it because you can grind the heck out of it for materials that are really expensive, like those Ascendant shards and stuff.
Do you only have one chance at an exotic though, or is it you can just
no you can just farm
keep
it
doing it?
I
wondered
think
that.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's huge. I haven't because exotic is common, right?
I've seen people post like, yeah, here's my Nightfall loot, for the night, and it was like 5 Ascendant shards, 7
that's awesome.
exotics.
Yeah, that's like, so cool. It's not just one.
They're creating a really cool
kind of gameplay
in-game
loop, right?
loop. Yeah, for players that want in-game stuff. So it's challenging, it's difficult, it's fun, but it's going to give you the harder to get stuff that allows you to do things like masterwork armor. You need like those materials and get more rolls on hard to get drops like exotics and stuff like that. So kind of bringing that all the way back around, by the time Iron Banner comes back
still be
in a month or whatever,
possibly,
people are going to need that gear. And I think that is what's been missing. That my complaint for so long about Iron Banner is it just didn't matter enough. In Destiny 1, it was always populated because the hardcore PvE crowd came out because they needed the stuff. Like, I broke from Forever 29 with Iron Banner. Like, that's how I got to level 30. And it was the only way I could because, like, RNG was just killing me.
Right, yeah.
And it's going to be the same case for people that want to get to like 962 or whatever it is they're trying to get to, 952 or whatever it is. And I think that has like a lot more bearing than people realize for certain players.
Yeah. I'll be interested to see how the staying power throughout the season. They've definitely made it way more interesting. I think at some point too, we could probably have a nice little side topic conversation on the Pinnacle grind because we're so groomed to want to hit max, at least for me, and I think a lot of Guardians, like your first goal is to hit max power. And I kind of was like, I was seeing how much you needed, what it looked like, the Pinnacle grind to 960. And then, I watched, always like the thoughts, videos on certain topics of Dados. And he had a good point about, it's almost like we got to change our mentality. The way that they structured it now and the way it looks like it's going to be is 950 is the max, really. And like you said, 960 is just the carrot, on a
it's
stick
a carrot.
for
it's
you
a
to
carrot
something else to chase. Yeah.
Need that. And the whole score bonus that you get off your artifact gives you enough cushion that even when you're still chasing to get a true 950, it gets you into those activities, right? Yeah. Same thing with like even when you're 950, like it pushes you to 960 and puts you within reach of those 980 activities, or above. I'm just talking in terms like I have a plus 10 power bonus right now, so I'm just thinking in terms of where I am. But you can get above that.
It seems.
I like the system.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Like structure so far. I know it's going to need fine tuning. I'm hearing people and seeing people talk about, there should be like Pinnacle drops from this activity and that, and they're kind of not getting the point of like, I think what people, their automatic reaction is to say, we just need more drop sources and they need to be.
That's how we've been groomed too.
We're used to having like 15 powerful drop sources and this and that, and you can get it from doing everything. But
that's not the point.
The whole point is like that's not where you get that, and you have to be doing the hardest stuff to do this, and it's for the player that they just want to feel like they can progress at something.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like you said, I'm sure, after we play a full season, there'll be some fine tuning that's needed. But I got to say, like, the artifact messes me up still a little bit. It's weird to my brain that I'm 950 right now, but I'm really still 940. But once you just wrap your head around it, and then the Pinnacle part of it, the 960, I mean, it's well thought out. And it really, as far as like the actual functionality of your, I guess you could say, your seasonal gameplay. It works. Like, it gives the in-game players something to chase that's going to take a while. It may need a little tweaking. It's a lot of materials there. And then it gives everyone else your classic max power to grind for, if we can get ourselves to look at it that way. And then, like you said, the artifact gives you a little bump to get you in things a little sooner.
One thing I'm curious about that I was talking to a friend about this week was in the artifact, how we know that, the artifact will go away next season. We'll get a new one, and the mods that are part of that will expire. But what's interesting, like, one of the cool mechanics that I enjoy about this season is the champions mechanic, right? And that's very integral in the Nightfall. It's also very integral actually in the raid, because in the raid you have barrier champions and overload champions and stuff like that. So you got to even go into the raid using these mods that you get through the artifact and stuff. So we were talking about, well, okay, this is going to go away, but what are you going to do in the raid? So either next season they've got to retain part of that mechanic or refresh it, or they'll have to pull the champions out of the raid or replace them with something else, because you won't be able to drop their shields, or you won't be able to stagger them.
Yeah.
So I'm curious how they're going to handle that, because in the Nightfall, the Ordeal, they're obviously probably going to plan on changing some of that. I feel like that's a thing that's going to get refreshed seasonally. But in the raid specifically, like, those bad guys, like, they're built into encounters. Like, you have to be ready to deal with them in certain encounters in the raid. So I'm curious how that's going to play out.
Yeah.
And maybe that's a thing that they're just going to keep on the artifact every season, and those mods may stick around or evolve, and other mods will change, I don't know, but that's a topic for another day.
Yeah, sorry, that is a topic. I kind of trailed off on that too. But anyways, okay, you played Iron Banner. What else you been up to?
Yeah, so Iron Banner was fun, man. I just did one character's worth. That's all I had time for. And I think I'll probably just try to, like, knock out a character per event this season is probably what I'll end up doing. And we have conquered the raid.
Nice.
Got through that tricky final boss encounter.
You did it? Did you do it blind with your team?
Well, so they went through some parts of it without me blind, because I couldn't return. And then the final boss, we kind of got to a point where, we just really, we want to get this done. So we looked up a guide, I think Dado's guide, and just the basics of how to do it. But we ended up having to try, like, multiple strats to figure out what was going to work, and heard about one variation on something we were doing and tried that strat and found that was the one that worked. So we're kind of getting to a point where we only have like 2 clears on it, like, full disclosure, but we've figured out, like, everybody's kind of learning their role, just like in any other raid, and getting more competent, figuring out, like, fine-tuning stuff, figuring out how to solve problems, where we can get a little more consistent with it and stuff. And we went in this week, we got Divinity, which is the raid exotic.
Yes. Yep.
And that was a fun puzzle. Like, you do it, there's 7 different things you have to do, and it's all in the raid, like in the Black Garden. So, like, in between encounters, you go and find these different things that you have to do. They're like little puzzles, environmental puzzles that you have to do to basically, like, the idea is you're taking down, like, this security function that will spawn the chest at the end after the final boss.
Okay.
So you have to do 7 different steps as a team. And it was really fun. Like, compared to something more complex like Outbreak, in Destiny 2, 1 Year 3, it's not that complex, but it's enough of a challenge that it stayed fun. You know what I mean? But you're not just handed the gun.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I've seen multiple posts of, like, people wanting to finish their quest, or, it's like I don't know any details on that quest other than that it exists. So it's just
the gun's really good though. Like you shred bosses with it because it creates a bubble around what you shoot, and anybody that shoots it, everything is a crit. And what's cool about it, what I really love, is on the garden final boss, like he has one little crit spot, and so you're really having to use like snipers and things that do precision damage. But if you're able to have this gun, then you can use all kinds of stuff. So it kind of opens up like a little bit easier DPS phase, I think. Like if you want to just go in there and use grenade launchers or something and not have to use sniper rifles, like just have somebody use this on the guy.
Yeah.
So it's a cool gun. I like it a lot. And then it's just a great trace rifle outside of using that mechanic of it,
Very cool. Yeah, I was wondering if you got through the raid.
That fun stuff. Yeah, trying to get through that and master that with the team. I think the challenges for the raids start next week, so we're going to start working on those.
Yeah.
There's some interesting ones this season for sure. What else did I do? I did a few, not master nightfalls, but the one below that. I want to say it's epic. And we did a 100K nightfall, which is like, it was funny because 2 times we ended up with like 99,000. We're like, come on,
Man.
It's legend. That's what it is. Legend is 950. Which is handy if you need enhancement prisms. Like I would have 2 or 3 drop every time I finished it. So
Nice.
If you need materials, you can grind that.
That is really cool that you can grind those nightfalls for.
Oh, I love it. I think it's a awesome addition to the Nightfall experience. I know a lot of people are complaining and they're like, yeah, we've been doing these same strikes for forever, but it is what it is. Like that's just Destiny,
Well, it's like running rifts in Diablo or something, but
yeah,
I get granted those
dungeon crawling,
somewhat generated, but still, you're just, you're running through a dungeon to get some materials.
But like the unique modifiers they have on them are cool. Like the whole champions thing. See, here's a tip. I didn't learn this until this week. This is really important and not explained at all in the game. If you're doing Nightfall the Ordeal, and you're doing anything above Adept, so if you do Hero at 920, Legend 950, Master 980, right? At those levels, it has the champions. If you want rewards when you finish it from the Nightfall itself, like chest rewards or any of the enhancement cores, prisms, like any of that stuff that's going to drop, you have to kill every champion.
Oh,
so
wow.
if you just blow by them and just skip them, you'll get diddly squat at the end of the strike. And I had no idea about this. And I just happened to find out because we were starting one. And I wanted to look something up about, I don't even know what I was looking up, but I was trying to figure out what the Nightfall was that week. So we were going to gear up for it. And so I just hop on Destiny, the game, and just like third post I see it, it was like super good advice. You got to kill every barrier, like every champion. I was like, need to know. That's important. Yes. So if you go in there, like, don't kill your time, or if you're like not getting drops from this stuff, you're wondering why. That's probably why.
That's it.
Yep.
I did not know
and
that.
They really need to explain that in the game. I mean, hugely. Like 3 Nightfall strikes at 950 or 980 and just didn't get anything, and I had no idea why.
For sure, yeah.
I feel like, fix your game, and be writing Bungie.net posts, and so mad.
Why are we running this?
Yeah. It's poopy. But yeah, that's kind of like all the fun stuff of being into the moon stuff. I want to mention the moon stuff that they have going on is kind of cool. It hasn't got as much attention, I feel like, but I really appreciate the things that we're doing, like with Eris each week.
Yeah, it's really cool. Mm-hmm.
That's a cool kind of little bit of stuff that's going on. We're getting a weekly piece of lore.
Yeah, it's
and
neat.
I have to give huge, like, all right, here I have this belief. If you complain about something, if it gets fixed, you have a prerogative to say thank you. Okay. And I complained really hard last year when Forsaken came out about stuff getting data mined. And I was like, Bungie, why can't you prevent this? Why can't you protect this stuff? Why are the lore books getting data mined and getting ruined? Like the whole thing with all the lore that came from Marasov every 3 weeks, that whole book got leaked. And it was supposed to come out like every 3 weeks, and it would tell this story that evolved and would surprise you. But it didn't. And I was super upset. And, the whole thing with Uldren, like that was supposed to be a surprise. Well, because of the way Steam handles their files, that stuff, they can classify things differently now, and you can't get data mined. So we're getting this weekly piece of lore in a book called, I think it's called Unveiling. And it's literally the darkness, like that dodecahedron, our triangle or pyramid ship is talking to us.
Yeah.
And it's telling us a story about basically where the Traveler and where this ship came from. This is a huge deal if you're into the Destiny story at all.
It's really cool.
And so I have to say, like, if anybody out there is listening from Bungie, like, thank you so much for making this happen, like making this work right, because it's so appreciated.
Yeah, definitely. And it's just cool to, like the invitations of the 9, it's cool to have something every week, a new piece of lore, like you said.
Yeah, it's nice to look forward to that and like see a story coming through. We've got some kind of crazy Vex gate. Ikora's lost her mind, dude.
Yeah.
What the heck's going on in the tower?
I did think it's funny they still need actual cranes to lift pieces and move them over. You think there would be some sort of space magic? You wouldn't need cranes anymore.
Yeah, you're off doing a strike when all that happens. You come back and it's all gone.
Yeah.
So that I had to point out like all those things that are going on, like those little touches, the stuff that's going on the moon, the stuff that's going on in the tower. Like I love just
it's cool. But the world feels a little more alive, doesn't it?
Things, things are happening. Like feels like it's not just static and dead.
Going through the motions. Yeah.
Anyways, I've talked enough. How was your reset?
Oh, it's been 2 resets. You had to catch us up. Yeah. I was curious if you got through the raid with your team. Yeah, dude. I've been doing the powerful grind. I hit 950. I think maybe a little bit more than that. So of course, that's
you've been doing some comp, right?
Yes, tons and tons. Yeah,
comp has some good power drops.
Mm-hmm. Of course, I'm factoring in my artifact, so I'm really just over 940. But
but you're there.
Right. Yep. I'm there. And it's fun, man. Like I always enjoy the power grind. I feel like I got to it a little quicker than originally thought I was going to, but looking forward to jumping on my alts maybe a little sooner than normal and power level in them a bit. But just been doing that thing. I'm having fun with the powerful grind. The moon's fun. The nightmares are fun. I usually always pick the shortest one though and run 3 of them. All that stuff's fun. But I have been spending a lot of time in the competitive playlist, and I'm trying. I think I said this the last episode or 2, but this just started the season off in the Crucible, and I've needed to do that for a while. I think I said I was going to do it last season, and it just happens that it landed on this season because I still need a Mountaintop. I still need Redriska's Broadsword, and I need Not Forgotten. So I did actually, I think I've mentioned this the last couple episodes, but we were talking before we started recording, I was at 99% on my double kills for Mountaintop.
Right.
And I definitely played a game while we were recording. I played some games, and I got it in Mayhem. So I now have Mountaintop as we're recording this.
Way to go!
I wanted to get it while the episode was live. So I knocked that one out.
There's nothing worse than like this. Always happens to me when it's super. It'll be like 3 a.m. and I'm 99%, and I'm just like, oh my God, I want to go to bed, but I can't until this is
It's like you
done,
just want to check it off, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's taken, those double kills are just rough, and you really can only go in comp, and you gave me the idea of mayhem because I just needed one more double kill, obviously.
Yeah.
And you need at least, it's a lot easier if you can have 5 rounds of colony. Yes, I'm using colony to polish this off. I don't know if I'll use colony ever again.
Get that catalyst, because it
I got it.
your mag. I think
I got it
7,
during
maybe?
this. Yep, during. Well, I got it, and I only have 5, so I don't know, but I did get it during this process.
I remember it being a lot bigger.
Yeah, it popped up, and I was like, "What?" I didn't think I'd been using it that much.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna plan to just go into mayhem for like 3 hours and just spam colony.
Yep. Just look for a couple blips. Surprisingly, it's not that hard to do if you go into comp with the team survival with just 2 buddies and they let you get heavy. It's not that hard to get double kills in there. I mean, it takes maybe you might get 1 a game, but you only need I want to say it's maybe 10-ish. Now it's not like it used to be, so shout out to all those guardians that got it before the change. But
yeah, for sure.
Anyways, I got most of mine. Well, I got them all except the one when you were like, just go in mayhem, and I'm like, you're right. So I got that last one, and so I have it now. So I'm pumped about that. I'm gonna finish off. I think I'm on like the second to last quest step for broadsword, so I'm hoping to finish that here soon. And then Not Forgotten will be the one. Man, I've been last night and again tonight. I've spent a lot of time in the competitive playlist. When we had the meetup, I made it all the way. I think I was like 10 shy of 4,000, and I started that weekend, that day. I was at 0. I hadn't played any competitive at that point. It was just general Crucible and such. And I mean, we were just 2 resets into the season, I think. And I've spent a lot of time in there since then. But now that I've been playing freelance, freelance is an interesting, I know they've done some matchmaking things in survival, but it feels different right now than it did when I first jumped in. It's kind of back and forth, and like Crucible, I guess, can be at any point. But we went on a kind of a losing streak last night, and I'm back down to like 34, and it's that classic, you lose a couple 2-3 games and you kind of just have to tell yourself, all right, tonight's not the night, let's go do something else.
It's hard to do that though.
It's
really you want to turn
it
around.
Yep, it's really hard to do that. And I will say, it's been a while. I used to talk about PvP critiques back in the day a lot, just because I played Trials so much. But I will say, I have got a little bit of an issue with power ammo, heavy ammo being in every single round right now. It is, I know it's been that way for a while, but man, it's rough to have to fight, to have to try to control heavy every single round when Destiny already kind of has a snowball mechanic to it. So it's like, if you can control that heavy, then you get your super in the second round, definitely the third round. Then it's like, at that point, you can pull it back,
snowball,
and you can bring it back, and you don't ever want to say you're out of the game. But if you can control power, and I keep calling it power, it's heavy, but it's you got to control heavy, and you got to just keep pushing them and pushing them and pushing them. That's why it's either 4-0 or it's 0-4 a lot of times when we play, because it works out. There's just, heavy can really change the momentum of the game, and for it to be in every round, I do miss in Trials, and I probably back then said even the one round that it was in Trials was rough sometimes, but I miss it being just one round. I know this isn't Trials, I know this is competitive playlist, it's survival, but I kind of wish we could try it and to just be in like 1 or 2 rounds of a survival game instead of every single round. However many seconds in, you got to post up. You got to make sure you got heavy under control. But I'm coming off of a night of a losing streak, so I could be a little.
Feel that way when you're a little salty on a loss.
Yeah, so I'm gonna step back and refresh my brain a little bit and jump back in there. I'm not gonna take a break. I'll jump back in and kind of reevaluate and see if that's really what I think. But it just really seemed to just be obvious last night. But it is what it is. It's fun. I'm enjoying it. I'm liking survival more than I used to. It still has that turtle mechanic. We've even utilized it. A super sweaty game, and we're up 1 kill. We'll slow it up a little bit because you'll win on those lives. But I don't know. Overall, it's been a PvP season for me so far, and I think I'm going to keep at it until I get these other 2 weapons knocked out. Because I don't have my Crucible badge because I've not taken the time to get my broadsword. The reason for that is because most of the time I won't say most of the time. I like my Titan in the Crucible, but I spend just as much time in the Crucible on my Hunter, and that quest is
it's character
based,
right?
And I'm like 3. I didn't pick it up on my Hunter for a little while, and I'm like 3 or 4 steps behind. So this season I've told myself I've only played on my Hunter once, and I'm playing on my Titan until I finish this quest.
I've had it a long time on my Titan. I don't know how far I am. I just kind of every once in a while I'll look at it just to see where I've gotten, and I'm on the last part of double kills with like pulse, I guess is what you got to do, like double kills
because I think I'm on the second to last step. I'm at the point where I'm getting 50 final blows of each subclass, and then I think the next step is the 25 games or something of three different
I'll
game
have to
types.
look it up and
then you have to have 5 resets.
What I've got,
that
whole thing was has been confused. I keep getting mixed feedback on that, like how that works. Is it max resets like 5 in a season,
right?
5 over time? I keep getting like different,
because a team member
takes on that.
Mitch was just telling me, he's like, oh no, I got mine like as soon as I got to that step, because he's like, you've already got 5 resets, you're good. And then another member of the Derp fam was saying, well, that didn't happen for me. So I am curious when I get to that step what's going to happen, because I've definitely reset it 5 times, in the last several seasons.
Sure, a lot of people will have by now.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, I'll keep you posted on what happens with that. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what I've been up to. I'm of course still learning. I don't know if you made it that far in the episode last week, but my kiddo and I are playing Farming Simulator.
I did, yeah. I found that pretty funny, actually. Y'all are like picking up all kinds of fun stuff together.
We are. It's super fun. We're like, and it's a pretty in-depth game. Like, we just learned that we could use our front loader to put straw in our trailer and then take it to our barn and make money. So like we're learning the things. So yeah, Minecraft and Farming Simulator. I haven't fit in a lot of Moonlighter, but I plan on playing it some more. But yeah, that's what I've been up to. It's Crucible heavy and just that power grind, man. Did you do? I did start the Leviathan bow quest.
Yeah,
but
I didn't finish that yet.
Yeah, I haven't either. I'm only like 2 steps in. I just wanted to get it started.
One full night I've been able to play this week was we were doing the raid and Divinity. And
nice.
So I haven't been on as much. We're recording on a what is today? Friday? Yeah, Friday.
Yeah, it's Friday.
So the weekend is where I get more stuff done, and I haven't.
I know we had several weeks there where we hit up the Sunday night, which is almost a full reset of play.
Yeah. But I hear it's a pretty easy quest. Like it's not long at all. So I'm like trying to knock out some strikes and get that part of it done and get it. It looks really goofy. Like some of my buds got it, and I don't know what it is, but it looks cartoony almost. Like there's a lot of guns that are pretty wild looking in Destiny, but for some reason the way how it's so chunky, it looks like I don't know how to describe it. It's just funny to me. It's a funny gun, but it has like this super slow draw time, but does like awesome damage, I guess. But somebody was telling me, like, compared to like as a DPS weapon, it only does like 18 or 8K or something, compared to like you can get 30 or 40 with some of the better DPS weapons on a crit. So it's not really that great for the for this slow firing whatever.
Yeah, and that always seems to be like with the bows. They're
It's
just
like a novelty
yeah.
gun, but you know, they always have room where they could buff it at some point or something.
Right. Yeah.
But it's funny,
I did a couple steps.
With heavy and with any like precision weapon like a sniper or something, it's all about how fast you can put damage downrange. And so even if you do a lot of damage in one hit, if it takes you 3 times as long, it's just not gonna be viable, you know?
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I had to all these new weapons dropping. I took some time today to update my Destiny to-do list because I'm a list person, and I just needed to update my list of things that I don't have that I know at some point I want to get, so that I can refer to it if I need to.
Yeah.
And man, I added like 10 things to it. And then next reset hasn't even started yet. There's gonna be more.
Yeah, and I noticed I was like looking at some of the moon weapons and gear I don't have yet, and I realized, oh well, there's like 3 or 4 guns I haven't had drop.
Yeah. And we're getting weapons in the dungeon
things.
too, right?
Yep.
There's going to be
at
weapons.
least one. I don't know how many total there's going to be, but I know there's at least like a pulse, I think. Hopefully more. Like I'd love to see another exotic tied to it. Maybe that's what the bug gun is going to be.
Yeah, possibly.
That'd be cool.
It would be
We'll
cool.
see. Yep. But yeah, I have a long to-do list as well. I'm like, oh, how am I going to get all this stuff done this season? And then Outer Worlds came out this weekend, and I've preloaded it, and I've heard nothing but the best things about the game. So I'm excited to check it out, because I'm like, some of my favorite games earlier in my gaming career were Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, Elder Scrolls games. Like, I used to spend a ton of time in that stuff. And this is from,
love the Elder Scrolls,
the makers of the original Fallout, like the original. They made Fallout New Vegas. So they have like a good
I've watched some
pedigree.
that they've shot out. Yeah, it's it looks fun. I don't know that I'm gonna buy any. The only game I think maybe I'll buy
Pass.
and I'm almost up on that. I did the 2-month thing. I got to decide if I want to keep refreshing my but Zelda Link's Awakening, I may be the only game that I buy between now and Christmas, but we'll see. I'm holding off on it too.
I might get that for my kiddo for Christmas.
Yes, that's one of the main reasons why I want to get it. Because my kiddos played a little bit of Breath of the Wild, but not just kind of ran around and stuff. This one's definitely more kid friendly. Like it's
I think so.
Cartoony and the art style. It's I think it'll be good. So, but yeah, plenty of other games to play as per usual these days.
And the Call of Duty came out. The new Call of Duty came out this weekend, and I actually heard like the campaign is like stellar. There's some kind of great story. So
I've heard good things all around
check it out,
about this one so far.
Yeah, we'll see. They had some problems with their servers were down for like 3 hours the other night when they did their, I guess, I don't know if it was not a midnight release, but they did like a evening release, if you will. But yeah, it's game season. It's holiday game season. All the fun stuff.
Yeah, I know. It's like games release year round now, great games, but it's always just like it used to just be Christmas time.
I mean, the
fall,
big stuff just came out in the fall.
Yeah, now it's year round, but then it hasn't stopped in the fall. It's just like double time now.
A bunch of big delays were announced this week. Last of Us 2, that's a really big one.
Yes.
Got pushed back. Everything Ubisoft was making got pushed back, like literally everything.
Wow.
I think it was like 5 games they pushed back. So a lot of stuff getting delayed, but I'm always
people are probably okay with that.
The attitude, like make it good, right?
Plus, again, like we said, plenty of other stuff to play. So
I think that those are just bigger deals if it's like a tentpole franchise. Like if you push Call of Duty back 6 months, people would be like, my Call of Duty, whatever. But besides that, it's fine. Even our Destiny can take a little pushback sometimes.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, you want to do some Dirt Fam discourse? I know we got some fun stuff from our listeners this week.
Yeah, we do. We mentioned at the beginning of the show we got a new little channel on the Discord. So I believe we have a Discord submission, 2 Discord submissions, I believe. Yeah. This one was a post in the Discord. It wasn't in our new channel, but it was kind of partially the idea of the new channel. So
yes.
This was a member of the Dirt Fam Discord, Tahi Fried Chris.
Tahi Fried Chris.
Tahi Fried Chris. That's where I was going with it.
I think that's what it is.
We did not want to butcher that, but there you go. Yeah, so this was a post in the Discord. It's kind of more of and this is the kind of stuff we like to see too, because it just creates interesting topics.
Yeah, good conversation.
Yeah, basically, and it's we titled it as New Lighters, but it's kind of an observation and experience with some new Guardians and what we've talked about on the show before, as far as how you would feel coming into this game right now, brand new. And we'll read this and just kind of talk about it. He says, I just played with some New Light Guardians on Xbox for a couple hours. They've been playing for 4 days now, and what I realized is that Destiny has a pretty steep learning curve. I'm a pretty casual player, but I've been playing since Destiny 1 release. But even with explaining certain things like what a Vex boss is or how the crosses on the map are chests that are related to bounties, these guys were pretty aimless. We are just kind of following things and shooting a lot of stuff to accomplish things, is what he says they said. But they understood the general stuff, but we had to go over why blues are okay to equip if they are a higher power level, even though they aren't legendary, that dismantling legendaries is okay, as well as the differences between strikes and other activities. I think it's great that there are some things in Destiny that just aren't explained well and are left up to the player to figure it out and experience themselves, like a real RPG. But I also wonder if it may be turning some of these Guardians away because they aren't handheld like other games. Thoughts on this? Also, one thing they said is that the Destiny community is extremely welcoming compared to the other online games. My experience as well, he says, and which bodes well for Bungie and ongoing gameplay. This was my favorite part of the conversation with them. So this was posted in general chat. Of course, now we have the channel as well, but this is super interesting, this take. You know, we've talked about this on the show before. How much Destiny doesn't explain to you. And that's okay, like Chris mentions, with some things. But there is a lot going on in this game. And you don't even think about, like, for example, explaining to them that dismantling legendaries was okay, right?
Yeah.
You just think you get a purple and it's like, I'm keeping this thing forever. And then reverting back to blues or just things that we've just done for years. And I don't know. I mean, what do you think? What's your take on this? We've talked about it before. It's I don't know what they do, especially at this point.
I've been saying this for a really long time, that there needs to be more in the game that explains the game. And they've made some progress with that. They have.
Yeah.
Even in Destiny 2 proper, when it first came out, like, there were quests that introduced things, like it taught you how to patrol, it taught you how to run strikes, it taught you how to go into the Crucible, like stuff like that. I don't know how much of that was retained with New Light. And I know you don't even have to do that stuff to get into the game, right? So I don't know if they need to invest in a New Light tutorial or like mini campaign that you've got to go through, maybe take an hour where it drops you in a strike and a Crucible match, teaches you how to infuse,
some tool tips, and just tells you a few things.
But it's also a question of, like, Bungie keeps dancing around this in some of the interviews from the past year and like some of the stuff they put out, like what's next. They all they've said is, we don't have a plan for what's next. And I don't think that's necessarily true. I think what they're saying is, we're not ready to say if we're getting Destiny 3 or are we, doing another year of an expansion or 2. We don't know, you know? If they're going to keep Destiny 2 around for another year or 2, I think they need to invest into some kind of experience that's for new players specifically.
Yeah, I mean, I think an important thing that he hits on is, you do have to wonder if it turns people away if they're just not understanding even what they need to do. A lot of players will figure that out. But you got to think about it. If you're jumping into a massive game that you've never played before, and you don't have to have everything spelled out and explained for you, but if you don't understand like key things, or
if you're on console and you go into a public space, you can't talk to people. Right. There's no general chat. Like, you can't type into anything. There's no voice chat. Mm-hmm. So you have no way to just go into the tower and be like, hey, can anybody help me? You have to find people and message them or spam them or something.
Right, yeah. And you want to think most gamers will then take to the internet and go to Reddit and stuff like that, but we've talked about that before. That's what we do, and that's probably what everyone does that's listening to the show, because they search for a podcast. But I don't know that the majority
not everybody
of gamers
does. The average person that may not even listen to podcasts may not even ever think about that.
Right. Yeah.
They may not ever think about going to Bungie.net and looking at, they have guides up. Like they put some guides together for new players. They may not go look for that. I mean, I don't know. I think it's going to require some polish. I don't know that the experience is great. I think what's working for us though is that I think overall, we do have a good community that's willing.
That was so cool to hear.
Help people. Yeah. I swear to God, if somebody hit me up in the tower at 1 a.m, they're like, I've never played this game, what do you do? I'd be like, oh my gosh, this is going to be so much fun.
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
I'm going to take you on the ride of your life, but how did they find you? How do they get that help? I don't know. So I do think it's something that is a great opportunity for clans and for communities to try to create ways to reach out to new players, and that's always been a big part of Destiny, is teaching people how to improve or learn the game, teaching people how to do challenging activities. It's always been part of the culture of Destiny. That's a really big deal. And this is kind of an opportunity to flex those muscles that maybe haven't been as strong in a while, Yeah. So, yeah.
That was my favorite part too, is him mentioning that was his favorite part, that they said the Destiny community was extremely welcoming. That's just cool to hear.
That's good. That's good to hear.
Experience of that. Yeah.
That is good to hear. It could go other ways.
It could with any game.
That's good.
So, we do have a great community. So this is exactly what we're looking for in the Dirt Fam discourse. Of course, just topics. We love to talk about this stuff. We haven't gotten much feedback about Shadowkeep. We know you guys are still super in tune, probably with the grindage, but we're interested to hear your feedback. So
yeah,
we got another one. I think Cyborga.
Here's a cool one. This is from a long time Derp Fam member, Rob Q1978. He posted this in our new Derp Postmaster channel. He says, hey family, I have a shout out, if at all possible, this Saturday. By the time you hear this will have been this past Saturday, is my wedding. And besides that being an awesome and amazing day, my fire team has traveled from all over to be here with me and my future wife to celebrate this day. So I'd like to shout out Forrest, PS4, Let's Raid, Berg, Venetrix Knox, Dot Fortune, CK Shocker, Hellcat 914, Emery's Merlin, El Barrow, Mirador 98, and last but not least, Gilligan with 2 N's. The people mentioned in this post have been some of the best friends and even family any Guardian could ask for, and with them, this coming up wedding day will be amazing. That's awesome right there.
Awesome. I played with most of those Guardians.
Yeah, I know a handful of them.
So cool. Yeah, that's... Okay, we said we want topics and things like that to talk about, feedback on the expansion, but that also is exactly what
love that shout out
in the discourse. Yes, it's really cool. Good stuff.
But congrats, Rob, on your nuptials, and I'm glad that those people can be there with you to celebrate that, because you just, I mean, ideally you just get that once, and that's so great that those people can be there with you, and those relationships are real,
Congratulations. Yeah, that's neat, man. Really neat.
Well, thank you, Guardians, for the Dirt Fam Discourse. We've got actually a bunch more of submissions that we got through the Discord, and we're going to try to get through those as we can. But again, if you want to participate in this part of the show, you can go to our Discord, put something in that channel like we talked about. You can send us a email, destinyresetpodcast@gmail.com, or you can send us a SpeakPipe, which is like a voicemail, at speakpipe.com/destinyreset.
There you have it.
There you have it.
Thank you, Guardians.
Should we do some patron shout outs?
I think so. Yes, we've got a new patron this week, Chris0000.
Nice.
I want to say like
like
Chris 7000 or something. Yeah, Chriso, Chrisui with underscores.
Hey,
you get
whatever
extra
your name
shout-outs.
is, thank you for becoming a patron. If you don't know what a patron is, go to patreon.com/destinyreset. For as little as $1 a month, you can support the production budget of our show. And you get a few rewards in return. You get a shout out right here on the show. You get your gamer tag posted on our website as a Dirt Fam patron. And you get an invitation to our Discord channel just for Dirt Fam patrons and supporters, where you get to talk about whatever you like, criticize how we chew on things, talk about weird food groups, whatever it is. It's a fun time. And, wow, you put up here, man. We have 74 total patrons. That's insane.
74. It's crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Is. And there's even more listed on our website, of course, because, people have supported us and then stopped and then supported us, on and off. So we appreciate any of that. So that, man, it's crazy how many Guardians.
If you're a patron, and you have been in the past or you still are, thank you so much. It really does make a difference for us to be able to do that.
Yes.
And, make this a good show for you and do more things. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right, man. Well, fun show. Where can people find you on the internet?
You guys can find me at the usual places. On Twitter, it's AER0KNIGHT with a 0, and YouTube, it's AER0KNIGHT with a 0, of course, as well. Hopefully, now that I have my mountaintop, I might finally start posting some clips again, maybe.
Nice.
What about you?
You can find me on Twitter at CyborgSasquatch. You can find us on Twitter at Destiny Reset. You can find us on the web at www.destinyresetpodcast.com, your source for all things DRP, including links to subscribe to your favorite podcast app of choice. Don't forget, we're on Spotify, we're on Podbean, we're on all your favorite podcast apps. We're also on Dash Radio and Apple Podcasts. If you listen there, please go leave us a review. We are continuing to get more and more reviews, and we thank you for those. Do we have any folks to shout out this week?
We do. We have several. We got some US. We got 2 5 out of 5s with no written. That's okay. Thank you so much. We'd love to give you a shout out if you want to leave us a written review. We did get another written in the US from Tez Prime.
Tez, that's my boy.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tez.
Is it really?
Yeah. It is a buddy that
nice.
I play with. He's a nice guy.
Thank you, Tez. Very cool. And then from the UK, we can't remember if we did. We'd have to go back and look at show notes, but we talked to you this week in the Discord, so we're going to give you another shout out, even if we had already. Mr. Monkey, 1974. Thank you for the review. And then in Canada, we have this one I thought was funny. Sometimes we share the actual review. This one's short and sweet. I just thought it was entertaining. BHavoc9090 says the subject of the review was dope. And then the written was y'all are dope. I thought it was great. Yeah, it was awesome.
I like it. Short and
shout
sweet.
out. Yep. Shout out to the Great Stone, and then this name too. But all these names. This one's London to Monte Carlo by train. That was the name of the review.
Awesome.
So thank you, Guardians. Man, so many reviews. And I think most of these were in October for the most part. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. By doing that, we are seen and heard by more listeners just like you, and that's what we want. So we appreciate it.
Great stuff.
All right, man. Glad to be back and talk Destiny with you this week.
Yeah, I'm glad you're back. I'm looking
forward to more next week. Big show next week.
And it's not Thursday or Sunday night, so we can do some post-production stuff and maybe actually play some Destiny before we go to bed. We can stay up later on Friday nights.
I'm down, yeah. It's Friday.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, guys. Until next reset, have fun playing Destiny 2 and take care, Guardians.